Hey, Rainmaker 201 here, Greg Mack. Hope you guys are doing great. Thanks for tuning in on today's podcast about the Rainmaker material. I know we've been talking about 301 a lot lately, the team building course, and I would really encourage you if you're a gym owner or a general manager and you take your team, your group to the next level. This team building process, I think, will really provide the framework to help you guys capture the synergy of high level of cooperative teamwork so that you guys can not just get to your individual goals, but get to your overall team goal so that you achieve the success you want in your career. 201, we'll come back to that here in this podcast a little bit. Can't get away from the sales stuff, and it's fundamental. We talk about sales, even though I don't like the word, you know that. Really what I think it is an interview to a set of decisions, but we'll use sales just because everybody kind of understands what the context or what the frame of that conversation is like. And one of the things that we try to get across in the 201 program is that time is your most valuable asset of your suspects and prospects, whether they know it or not, whether you know it or not. Your most critical resource. Why is that? Can't get it back. Money you can lose, money you can get back. Time you can't get back once you lose it. And so we want to protect our time as much as we possibly can and use it as strategically as we can. And when we look at the behaviors associated with work activity in this context, and what we're trying to do in sales, right, is to generate clients, which is work. You guys need to be talking to humans and working with humans in your local communities to help them achieve whatever health, wellness, fitness goals and needs that they have, not just in the short term, but across their lifespan. Hopefully they understand that concept and you're able to communicate it effectively. But when we pick work time, the time you're going to dedicate to work, I don't know how many hours, there might be full-time or part-time, between 15 hours, 10 hours a month, 15 hours a week, 40 hours a week, whatever it is that you decide to say, hey, this is work time. Out of the 168 hours that we have available per calendar week, you might dedicate first to that. And we want to talk a little bit about how you chunk up that time, how you manage that time. And when we look at the idea of breaking up time during work activity, there's really two categories, generally speaking. You have pay time behavior and no pay time behavior. And what this means is when we're talking about pay time, those actions and directly lead to or create the work that you provide a service or product for. And so we're talking about suspecting, right? Going out and meeting humans and fishing. Prospecting, figuring out if there's someone in your wheel you want to invite into a face-to-face. Doing consultations is paid time activity. Doing assessments, doing sessions, asking for referrals, promoting your next thing, that's all paid time behavior. And it's important to make this distinction because there are other things that you have to do to support work, but you don't get paid for it in any direct sense, unless you're an administrator or something like that. But if you're a coach or a utility coach or a full-time coach, you're maybe writing narratives to doc reports, data, into your dashboards for the administrative software you're using, scheduling, filing, payroll, cleaning, going to continuing education courses. This is all no pay time behavior, but it's still necessary behavior to support all your pay time behavior. And so it's important to make a distinction here so that you can manage this appropriately, because when this isn't managed well, what separates the pay time and no pay time is the worry line. You start getting anxious. You're not making enough money. You're not seeing enough clients. You've got too much Group X. You're cleaning up, rifling through leads and not calling anybody, and you're got a problem, right? And so if you feel the anxiety because of an imbalance between pay time and no pay time behavior, it's really important for you to sit down with yourself and look at your pay time dedicated work and figure out what's going on there. What percentage of your time, for whatever your primary activity role is, really pay time behavior should be at least maybe at the top end, and no pay time is 20%, right? We'll lean on that old Pareto principle for that general idea. And it may be different for someone with a mature client base versus someone who's just getting started and building their client base. But when you look at your schedule of the week, of the day, and you're breaking that, how much time you spent doing those behaviors that lead to work, lead to getting paid, and those that just support that, you should see a whole lot more on the side of pay time behavior. And so I just wanted to give you some insight and some thoughts on that, because I know for myself, I can struggle with that as a business owner and someone who also does some sessions throughout the week, to figure out, okay, how much time am I spending, working on the business to support my pay time behavior, and how much is actually doing the things that, generate the revenue for my business, because it's really easy, and work and social media and posting and all that stuff, filing and cleaning and going to Starbucks again and talking to your fellow coaches and spending a little class, hobnobbing and talking to the clients. And so really try to dial this in is what I would encourage you to do. To take some tough, self analysis and really looking at your schedule. And if you don't have a schedule that you keep where you can actually see and write down everything you're doing, and I would encourage you to schedule everything. Schedule your pay time to get a sense of how and months and quarters and semi-annuals and your years are really being constructed from a time perspective, so that your time is maximized towards making the career that you want and having the financial income that you're hoping for. So it's in your hands. Only you can manage your own pay time behavior effectively. Hopefully this helps you start to get good luck. Get it done.